All right. Welcome back, guys. It's Friday. You're tuning in to Lions Den Investments and Reviews. My name is Casey. In today's video, I wanted to cover the banking regulations for blockchain. Okay, so there's a lot of exciting news coming out right now on the crypto market as a whole, but I specifically want to focus in on the regulation aspect of it because Bryan Brooks is the controller of the U.S. currency. Okay, and this article is just about 5 days old here. Basically, what he says here is the top U.S. banking regulator reveals positive cryptocurrency regulation coming in weeks. Okay, the top U.S. banking regulator has confirmed that the positive cryptocurrency regulation is coming in a matter of weeks by the end of the Trump term. It's going to work for everybody, said the regulator. This is Bryan Brooks. Adding that the new regulation will make it easier for crypto investors to know how to invest, therefore attracting more institutional investors, which would be like your big banks. Okay, now the reason why they're doing this is because back in 2017, you had Ethereum, which came about, and a lot of these projects were using Ethereum to create their fundraising through ICOs, or initial coin offerings. And these initial coin offerings were, again, a way for them to raise capital so that they could begin their projects. The problem with that was that the SEC was not involved with the ICO coin offerings, and therefore it made it very risky for a lot of investors to invest with these companies that said they were going to promise something. Okay, so there was no protection there for the investor. And so, long story short, most of these cryptos that you see in the coin market caps that have went through an ICO back in 2017 probably haven't done it properly based upon no clarity in regulations. And that's what they're trying to do here. That way, investors can be protected, and then it entices the big money, the big players to come in and invest in some of these other projects outside of Bitcoin. So what I'll do here is just play a video for you real quick. This is the interview with Bryan Brooks on the banking and crypto. And let's see what he has to say here.
Follow up on the point you made in terms of you think good things are coming by the end of the Trump term for cryptocurrency. Are you in the camp who believes that more regulation in cryptocurrency will be a good thing overall for the industry?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't say more regulation. This is not like your breakfast cereal box where it talks about weight, not volume. I don't think we need 50 regulations instead of 2. But what we do need is clarity about what's allowed. And so we need some guidance, for example, about whether banks can connect directly to blockchains as payment networks. The answer has to be yes, right? We needed answers about, can banks custody cryptocurrency so that institutions felt comfortable adopting? And you saw what happened when we gave that clarity. So you have clarity across a variety of areas that I think you'll be seeing just in the next 6 to 8 weeks, which will make it easier for crypto investors to know how to invest, to know how institutions can be in this asset class. And those are the things that are driving prices at this point. It may have been a bubble 2 years ago, but with more clarity, institutions that see this as a real thing are going to adopt at scale, which they've already started to do. So stay tuned.
Former boss at Coinbase.
All right, so basically what he's saying there is that you're going to see banks get more clarity on the cryptos and whatnot that are riding on these networks, so they can transfer money between each other. So what he was talking about was from the monetary perspective for the banks, and I mean, there you have it, and that's just from the monetary side. That doesn't include all the other stuff that he was referring to, which would be like the ICOs and more clarification on that as well for these smaller type projects. But it looks like, according to Bryan here, that their main focus would be on the banking aspects of it. So that's pretty cool stuff. And if we're going to know that before the end of the Trump term here, then expect more or less the same for this bull market to really take off. Because with something like that in place, guys, can you imagine the wall of money that's going to be coming in? And I've talked about that in a previous video. If you're not familiar with the global market cap, just click in the link somewhere above here. That'll take you to the video where I talk about the market cap for the amount of money, just based on a certain percentage of global cash moving in and out of markets that is getting ready to come into this space here with blockchain. So go check that out. The other thing I want to do here real quick is just give you some technical analysis. We're going to cover XRP. We'll take a look at Bitcoin, and then I want to talk about the Theta announcement that just came out with smart contracts. Okay, so Theta is releasing smart contracts now, and they've also reduced their staking of Theta to earn T-Fuel. So it was 10,000 Theta that you needed to stake for T-Fuel. They've now reduced that to 1,000 Theta so that you can earn T-Fuel, which is it's a big incentive for people who are owning Theta right now to go ahead and stake and hold on to their Theta. So we'll cover that. But getting into the technical analysis here, one thing we're on XRP right now, and I'm going in on the lower time frames because if we go to the daily, it looks like right now, you had a triangle here that was formed, an ascending triangle, and you had your downtrend right here. We could go ahead and actually move this up a little bit, and it looks more like a bull flag pennant now, which is really interesting because you got a lot of people out there talking about XRP is going to crash, and there's a lot of panic in the markets right now with XRP. I just don't see that, specifically because of the use case and the utility behind XRP. Now that the Spark airdrop is going to take place, now that Spark token is a utility and a fork off of XRP, which has Ethereum functionality behind it. So essentially what you'll be able to do at some point in time with Spark is implement the smart contracts for cross-border payments, which is huge from a global perspective when it comes to like trade with other countries and whatnot. So that's what Spark utility function does for XRP. Now we could get a sell-off after we make a move up here on XRP. The airdrop date is December 12th. So if you're holding XRP by December 12th, that's the screenshot, and then at a later date you'll get the airdrop on Spark. Okay, but getting into the technical analysis here, here's your bull flag pennant. I did have originally a more long-term double bottom here, and it didn't play out the way I thought it would. I thought it was going to go up. Now it still is, I think, going to go up. Just plays out a little bit more here on the daily. But if we go down to the 4-hour, I did spot this today, and this is a more prominent double bottom. This is kind of a classic case of a double bottom as opposed to the one over here. The reason why is if you look at the indicator here that I've got, which is the Best Cloud All MA moving averages on TradingView, you can implement that on your charts if you want, but basically you can see the green here as we're going up, and then it switches over into red, right? Well, what I've been noticing with this indicator is that if you do a double bottom and you draw out a double bottom on where it's green, more times than not the price ends up coming down, just like you saw over here. So what I'm looking for is double bottoms in the red, because these double bottoms, guys, are nothing more than reversal patterns. Okay, and when you get a double bottom, that reversal pattern signals prices moving upwards. And if you look right here, if we zoom in, it's doing just that right now. Okay, we went down and now we're coming up. All we have to do is break this resistance here at around 57, about 58.30. That's 58 cents. So if we can close above that, all right, and we've got some decent buying volume on the 4-hour right now. So right now we got about 58.368 million buy orders coming in, and if we look at the MACD, just gave us a crossover. Okay, RSI is at about 52 now. We came down from 35, or we headed up from 35 all the way up here to about 52. So we got a lot of room to run right now on the RSI. We just need the strength to pick up for buyers, and off we go. Now, let's look at the resistance levels real quick, because we've got a couple different resistance levels on XRP that we need to look at. The first here is at 66 cents, and then we have another one right up here at about 77 cents. Okay, so I'm expecting to move up to at least 66 cents, and then from there I'll watch it and see if we come back down, because we may trade inside this range zone here between 66 cents and 55 cents. Um, we just got to see how much volume we get on this run up here, and if we can close and break outside that downtrend, because if we do, we're heading higher. The next stop would be 66 cents. I've got the target based off of the base here. This is your base on a double bottom. So I've got a target on that, which should put us on this run up to about 75 cents. Again, I could be wrong on that, so we're just going to have to watch. But that is XRP. Bitcoin at the moment. You got more kind of the same thing going on here on Bitcoin. Okay, we broke our support line uh, right here for the move up. We broke through that, but if you look at Bitcoin, you got something similar forming as far as a pattern that correlates with XRP, and this is a good sign, because this is what you want when you're looking at Bitcoin, specifically because the price of Bitcoin, the movement, the price action on that correlates with XRP about 40% of the time, and that's what you're looking for, is the patterns on Bitcoin to match XRP, because whatever Bitcoin does, if they're matching and they're in line like that, XRP is going to follow suit. And if you look here, we got more or less the same thing. We got a double bottom forming on Bitcoin as well. That is a reversal pattern, so I would expect we might have a little problem breaking through it right here on Bitcoin, especially right around like 18,340. So if we can make it up to that, we're gonna have to break through that old support here. This old support line was acting; it's now acting as resistance, so we got to break that. If we can break that, the next target I have is about $19,385 on Bitcoin. So we'll just have to wait and see what Bitcoin does. But I would expect both to head higher going into this airdrop with Spark. Now after that, like I said, with Spark, a lot of people will probably liquidate their Spark holdings and take the extra money. And because Spark is associated, as a fork off XRP, it might affect XRP's price and bring XRP back down within that range zone that I was just talking about. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. It's definitely exciting, especially with the news from Bryan Brook on regulations for banks and big institutions. And the only other thing I wanted to cover here, guys, was the announcement on Theta. Okay, I told you we had the smart contracts that was just implemented. The mainnet 3.0 for Theta was launched. And guys, if you're watching this for the first time and you don't know what Theta is, if you go down to my URL on my website, Academy of Crypto, it's in the description here below. Just click on that link, go over to the projects. Okay, I've got projects listed there, and they take you directly over to their website, where you can read up on Theta and the technology and what they're doing right now, because it's a very exciting project. It's by far one of the best that I've seen out there to date. So go check that out. But yeah, Theta's got the mainnet 3.0 that they launched along with smart contracts, and then you also got the uh, the reduction in Theta to go ahead and stake so that you can earn T-Fuel. And if you're not familiar with T-Fuel, guys, that one's a big one. Like that one right now, I feel like people are sleeping on, because it's the secondary protocol to Theta. And what that does, in order for these corporations to integrate into their data center and offload bandwidth sharing from their data center servers, in order to do that, they have to buy T-Fuel. And if they have to buy T-Fuel to integrate into the Theta network, it puts a high demand on T-Fuel. And T-Fuel, guys, there's only about 5 billion in the market right now of T-Fuel. And I think at some point they're going to get ready here in next year. They're going to get ready to do a coin burn on T-Fuel, so your supply is going to be reduced, and you're going to get a bidding war from more corporations trying to save money on sharing bandwidth from the data centers. So if you look at it from a supply and demand aspect, kind of like what I do with Bitcoin and the entire crypto space, guys, I mean, T-Fuel, you know, it's got a lot of potential. And right now you can buy T Fuel for right now it's about a 0.01352. So it's not even, it's under a penny and a half. Now, if you ask me if that's a good investment and it's undervalued, I'm going to tell you hell yeah. And if you agree, go ahead and hit that like button. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll be shooting more videos and content like this at a later date. But with that said, guys, you guys have a great weekend, and I will catch you here next week.